What's up guys, I'm Chris Doughty aka Doughtinator. Welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to discuss everything you need to know about the Nissan Skyline Super Silhouette from 1984. This is a brand new DLC car for Gran Turismo 7, a returning favourite from previous Gran Turismo titles, and it's an absolutely fantastic car. In this video I'm going to discuss whether you should buy it, avoid it, rent it, or spoiler right now, this car's fantastic. You should just go straight ahead and buy it, no question at all. But either way, stick with me and I'll go through the positives and the negatives to this car. The real life version of this car is essentially a ground up race car built exactly what it needs to do, and then just a Nissan Skyline body strapped to the outside of it. I think that's where the name Silhouette comes from, is that underneath it's a race car, but it just has the silhouette of a Nissan Skyline. To find this car in the game, you need to go to the Legends dealership where all the legendary cars are. They're on rotation, so it may not be there. Keep checking back. But right now, for me, in the launch week of this car, for 1.15 million credits, you can buy this fantastic Nissan Skyline. If you want to know a little bit more about the car, click on Learn More, and this dude will tell you exactly what this car is all about. But I'm just going to go ahead and buy it. Just over 1 million credits, and it's actually not a lot of credits at all when you think about it. Certainly when it comes to what you can do with this car, because this car is a Group 3 car. It's in the Group 3 category. By default, it's 730-ish PP, and you know exactly where we're going to take this a little bit later in the video. But for now, let's have a look to see how we can customize the car. Quite obviously, it doesn't have the wide body modifications because it's already a super wide body car, which actually looks fantastic. A bit of 80s bolt-on hardware there. Wheels wise, you've got plenty of wheel options available. A lot of them are also free to choose, and the rear wheels especially they stay really deep dished. I actually love that nice deep rim, deep barrel offset on those rear wheels. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Good to see you can fit a lot of the aftermarket wheels to this car. When it comes to the other things you can do with the car with regard to racing parts and other items, you can't do a great deal. You can't change any of the cosmetics, but you can do a full livery editor as you would normally on any of the Gran Turismo 7 cars. The main body, highlighted in blue here, can be painted like so. Body 2 is the bonnet or the hood of the vehicle, and that does wrap around behind the front wheel, so you will need to work with your graphics to wrap them around the side to get a smooth look around the outside. The wing mirror is as simple as that. The rear wing is mostly paintable from what I can see. All those blue areas are available for decal placement. You can add decals to the rear side windows and the rear window of the vehicle. You can also do the custom banner as you would normally do, and the other area of the vehicle which you can add decals to or change the colour of is these, mainly the the window trimmings mostly. The door handle you can change, the little aerodynamic pieces on the back window bit there, and just the tail light section also has a little bit of area where you can put the decals on. When it comes to tuning, not a great deal is available. We've got a lot of NAs versus a lot of the stuff. Power restrictor and ballast, I add that to every single car I own. It just allows me to fine tune the way they drive and what performance points we're aiming for. But most other things are either already applied or not available. 2 turbochargers available, medium RPM and high RPM turbochargers. We can get some significant PP and horsepower improvements when we add these. I think all of the transmission upgrades are also still available. Now let's just throw the car at the track in completely default setup. I didn't buy any upgrades, I didn't change the setup in any way. This is just on racing hard tyres as it comes straight out of the legendary dealership, and already the car feels great. There's no lift off oversteer at all. It seems quite good on throttle. You don't seem to want to over rotate the car too much. It feels like it's got really good traction. You can get on the throttle hard on many corner exits, and if it does slide, it's really quite catchable. One thing I did notice though, it seems to be quite a bit of a delay between the gear changes, and there's a lot of turbo lag. So I think to be fast using this car, you need to be very cautious and careful and considered when it comes to downshifting for the corners. I think you want to be exiting the corners maybe in a higher gear than you probably would normally, and then get the boost built on the turbo and then just drive out the corner with boost. Brakes on the car seem pretty good. Getting on the brakes now at my normal braking point at the end of the wall, getting on the brakes now down to second gear, and we easily make the apex. So all good there. And I'm just using brake balance 0. I've not changed the brake balance at all, so if you're in any BOP races, then I think the default brake balance, the default setup will be pretty good. So this could be a bit of a contender in the Group 3 races. I know right now Group 3 Monza no chicane, the fastest time in the world right now is with this brand new car. You can see that we set a lap time that is pretty much exactly the same as our previous lap time, so the car is quite consistent to drive. If you like to drive from cockpit cam, then the cockpit looks fantastic. You've got a great viewpoint over the steering wheel. Mirrors seem to be in pretty good position, so you can glance and check them out, and yeah, it feels great from the cockpit cam. From the replay camera, it looks fantastic. You can see the driver there working away at the wheel as we exit the final corner at Deep Forest, and yeah, really loving the detail in this stripped down bare bones race car. So that's how it drives, completely stock, out of the box, just rolled out the showroom of the legendary dealership, and it's a really great car to drive. But that's not where we make the money. What we're going to do right now is tune it up and send it around Sardinia. For the World Touring Car 800 at Sardegna, I'm going to throw a high RPM turbocharger at it just to bring it up. 800 pp is the limit. We cannot quite get there with this vehicle. Group 3 cars typically can't get to the 800 pp limit. I am also going to put a fully customizable racing transmission just to be able to allow me to adjust the gear ratios to get the best fuel efficiency possible. And here's my exact setup that I'm going to use. I'm going to make a new setup, call it 800 pp. Practically it's not 800 pp, but that's the class that I'll be racing it in, so I'm going to call it that. And aside from adding the high RPM turbocharger, all I'm going to do is knock up the gear ratios a little bit just to kind of get more fuel efficiency, and then see what we can do in the race. Just really looking at the setup options but not changing anything. I'm going to start the race now. Running on fuel map 6, the most efficient fuel map, and I'm going to try and go for a one-stop strategy in this race. Any of you that are familiar with a Sardegna race, if you're using Group 3 cars, no matter what the tune, no matter what the setup, it's very rare to be able to get it to be a one-stop race. 2 stops is often the way, in stints of 5 laps typically, but right now, come to the end of lap number 1, I've got 7.5 laps of fuel remaining, and I'm in the window to make this into a one-stop race. I'm quite detuned with power being in such a lean fuel mixture, but the lap times are still pretty okay, and I'm going to be doing all these guys on pit stops. A lot of these in this race will be doing 2 stops, even 3 stops for this race. And skipping forwards now to the end of lap number 8, and we do make it to the end of lap number 8 with a fantastic strategy there. So we're all good, one-stop strategy. And what I'm going to do this time, I'm not even going to change tyres. All I'm going to do is refuel, because so far looking at the tyre indicators, I think we're pretty good on tyres as well. This car seems to be quite kind on its tyres, pretty good on fuel. So I think this is a really strong contender for a good Sardegna grinding car. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Is this going to be your new Sardegna grinding car? We're going to exit the pits now and be a little bit further down the order, get a bit swallowed up by some of the other drivers on the track, but that is my only pit stop for this race. There are other drivers going to make at least 1 more pit stop, or sometimes even 2 more pit stops, and we're going to have them covered by an absolute mile when it comes to our race pace. Fastest lap for me is a 1 minute 40, which isn't particularly fast, but on the one-stop strategy, the idea is not fast lap times, it's just to save time by just not making the extra pit stop. Skipping forwards to the end of the race, still running on fuel map 6, and the tyres look great. If anything, the rear tyres are slightly more worn than the fronts. Perhaps running the brake bias slightly more forwards would help to even that tyre wear, but practically speaking, I've saved 4 seconds in the pit stop by not taking the tyres. Has that benefited me in the overall race? I'm not entirely sure, but we do finish quite comfortably in first position. This is played on hard difficulty, and the race time is just over 26 minutes. And it's a really fun car to drive with. I really enjoy driving it, whether you're driving cockpit view, bonnet cam, chase cam, whatever. And for that 26 minutes race, we've earned over 700,000 credits. So do that twice and the car has more than paid for itself, and that is why my 100% recommendation is just to go and get this car from the Legend dealership while you can. It's absolutely a fantastic car, great car to have in your garage, and it's useful as well. You can use this car to earn money. Mix it up a little bit, use this different car for the Sardegna grind, and you can really start to push and tune the car. Maybe you can get down to 25.5 minutes strategy. Maybe it's better to leave the fuel mixture a little bit more rich, go for that two-stop strategy, push harder, and I'm going to be exploring all that stuff in the future. Hopefully this video has been useful to you, whether you should buy or skip this car. 100% recommended to buy this car. If you have enjoyed this video, then make sure you smash that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'll be trying out all the new cars whenever it comes to a new DLC download. On screen right now will be links to other videos which you will find really interesting, whether it's getting yourself faster in Gr3 or different car reviews. Go and check them out, and I'll catch you in the next one.